What's up, everybody? It's Rick from TAC-HILL. Uh, AK Driller did a video in which he said he was going to ask some questions. He was going to answer the questions, and he wanted his viewers to answer the questions. Um, and he was wanting to do it kind of as a series type thing, and I think that's a really great idea. And the first one that he did was "Have you ever?" And his question was, "Have you ever been in a car that went over 100 miles an hour?" And he just basically what he wants is to you to tell a story. It's a good way to get to know everybody better and to understand where everybody's coming from. And for me, I have been in a car that's been over 100 miles an hour, several times actually. Uh, One of the most vivid memories is me and well, he's pretty much my brother-in-law. Corey were on our way to go see my brother down in Vallejo, California, and we were living in Napa, California at the time. And we went down to his house, and when we got there, he's like, "Oh, well, we have to go somewhere," and he didn't say where we had to go. We just were getting ready to leave, so we hop in his, I believe it was a 1980 Camaro SS, and take off. Well, we hop on Highway 29 in Northern California and start cruising along. I believe we were going into Benicia, if I remember correctly. Um, so we hop on Highway 29 and we're just cruising, man. The next thing I know, he's hauling and we're hitting 120 in the speedometers all the way down and kind of like this, bouncing on that needle. And so we estimated that we're probably hitting about a buck 40. And we're cruising, and it wasn't bad in the car. We were sunk to the seats for a lot of it, but it wasn't bad in the car. But once we got to Benicia, uh, he pulls over at a tire shop, and we found out why we were on our way there. And so we get out and we look at the tires, and oh my god, man, they're basically metal. They're rolled to metal, and he's there to get new tires for his car. And Corey drops to the ground and literally kissed the concrete. Um, it was crazy. It was scary. Uh, Another time too, we had Ogre in the car. This lady let us borrow her car, and we were out partying, just being young, dumb, and full of something. Uh, and so we're getting ready to take him home, and we're just out messing around. So we're flying down the freeway, same highway, Highway 29, cruising to get him home, and we get pulled over by the cops, and we made up this story that his dad was a real vicious. By the way, his dad's a sweetheart. He's definitely not somebody you'd want to mess with because he's a big strong man, but he's a sweetheart. He's not mean at all. But we told the cops that his dad was gonna beat him if he got home late and all this. So we fed some sob story, and the cops let us go. And we got him home. Yeah, it was crazy. That brings back some good memories from way back in the day. Uh, Anymore, I'm not too much into speed or going fast. In 2001, uh, I had a life changing experience. It was New Year's Eve, 2001. My son was about 6 months old, and we all just decided we were gonna party and have some fun. And I made some decisions that were not very wise. I went ahead and decided because my cousin was very inebriated. Um, I made the decision that I was going to drive him home. His girlfriend uh, was kind of a nag. Uh, she was very annoying, and he brought her down to come hang out with us. None of us knew her, but she came down, and the arrangement basically was to stay the night, for everybody to stay the night. And we could party and have fun and do whatever. But when I figure after the party had begun, she started crying about she had to go home. So um, he was pretty out of it. He couldn't have driven. So I decided that I would go ahead and take them, and we're on our way, and we got about 30 miles, and coming down a road, and all of a sudden there was no steering in the vehicle. Um, I know it wasn't because I was, had been drinking earlier at all. Uh, there was no steering in the vehicle, and we went airborne, and we went through one tree, and then we hit a big tree, and the big tree hurt. I'll tell you, it hurt pretty bad, and that was a wake up call. So um, I got out the truck and ran over to their side to get them out, and their door was jammed shut. My door was open because I had actually opened it while we were midair. I was going to jump out, and yeah, so I ran back over to my side, yanked them out. Uh, we were right over by someone's house where it happened. I said we need an ambulance, and then I passed out on the ground. When I finally came back to, uh, I was being put inside of an ambulance and taken to the hospital. From the hospital, I went to jail, and had to spend a little bit of time in jail, and it changed my life forever. From that day forward, I decided that I would never take one sip of alcohol and get behind the wheel of a vehicle. So even still to this day, I will not even take one sip of a can of beer or a bottle of beer or anything else and get behind the wheel of a vehicle. What saved me, and because like I said, it wasn't. This was not because I had been drinking prior. This was definitely vehicular malfunction, and luckily for myself, I was able to prove that in court, and that's what saved me. Um, Although I still did have to take some punishment, so it was punishment that was much needed. Though it gave me a wake up call, and I'll tell you, there's nothing more heartbreaking or heart wrenching than sitting in a jail cell and seeing your 6 months old son brought in front of you. That'll definitely change your whole outlook on everything. And from that day forward, I have never gotten in trouble again. I don't plan to get in any trouble. And I did make a promise to myself that I would never willingly get myself in trouble again unless it was unpreventable. In other words, something that had to do with my family or something like that would be the only way that I would get myself in trouble. So other than that, I try my hardest to be a good citizen and not break any law. Uh, anyway, that's my story. Yes, I have been in a car going 100 plus miles an hour. Now in the accident that we weren't going anywhere near that fast. I was going about 50, 55 miles an hour down the road when that happened. But I just figured I'd share that with you because it goes one and the same with the whole concept and memories and stuff. Yeah, it sucked. All right, everybody, this is Rick from TAC-HILL. I hope you guys are having a great day. Remember, my friends, in order to thrive, you need to strive to survive, and I'll see you later.